Okay. Whoa. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's Wednesday. Like I said earlier, I would be back on with Kareen to talk about human design. So today we're going to be talking about the human design profile. We'll look at my chart to reference this so that we can see what's happening. Hi, Kareen. How are you?
Hi, Olivia. Hi, everybody. Doing great.
Awesome. Yes. So today we're covering an interesting aspect of human design. I think it's called the profile.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So, human design profile, it's another basic component to a human design chart. Previously, previous weeks we talked about all the different human design types, like generators, projectors, and manifesting generators and reflectors. And then we also talked about the different strategies and authorities. So now, once you looked at those three different items, kind of the next thing to really take a look at in your chart is your profile. So for your chart, um, so your profile is the 1-3, which is also called Investigator Martyr. And let's
Oh,
see, to look up the easiest way to find your profile. I don't know if I could see your chart right there.
I know. I can't see it. I was
I
like, what happened there? Let's
mean, it
see what
does
that means.
tell you. It does tell you right there in the text. But if you only have your actual diagram, the best way to find your number is, yeah, there we go. So the upper right number, the black number, that's your personality sun. I think yours is a 10.1.
Yes.
So that's where the one comes from in your profile.
Oh.
And so that is conscious energy, just a little bit of background. And on the left in red, that's your design sun. And I see 46.3, right?
Uh-huh.
So that means that's where the three comes from in your profile. So that
Oh,
is more unconscious energy. Uh,
interesting.
and what the profile really is, it adds another nuance to your body graph, your chart. It really um, it dives deeper into your energy blueprint. It talks about the numbers, talk about the impact you're meant to have on the world, and kind of like the lessons you're meant to learn in this lifetime. Kind of deep.
Oh.
So the first number in your profile, it really represents how your mind works and how you think. Whereas the second line in your profile is about how you kind of behave and walk through this world. So then together, there's different sorts of combinations, of course, you can come up with. So that's how we found your profile, the 1-3, and what that really means. So what does that sound like to you, the one?
So for my profile, I've read sort of into this, but not really. When you kind of like read into it, but I just don't fully get it. But what I get is the investigator. So that is pretty true to what I've lived up until now, where I like to dive pretty deep into the subjects that I'm into. So I don't know if that's what it means, but I'm an investigator, which means I think this is what it means. If I get into a subject, I get really into it, like really, I dig really deep into it, and I've noticed that about other 1-3 profiles as well, or anybody with a one in their profile.
Yes, yes, for sure. So the first line energy is really all about kind of building the foundation, creating a super, super strong foundation. And in order to do that, there's a lot of like the investigator type of energy. You're researching things, you're learning things, and it's kind of this never ending wanting to gain a lot of knowledge about something. And in doing so, you are able to build this really strong foundation because you know so much about something and can be kind of looked at as maybe the expert, or it has that kind of energy that comes from it. So that's definitely Correct. That's, the term investigator really goes along with the energy for the first lines. But when you pair it with the third line, so the third line is all about trial and error. So it's really kind of wanting to find the cracks in the foundation. And so sometimes it can feel like jackhammering the foundation, kind of like breaking down the foundation, which can kind of freak out the first line because the first line really wants things to be stable and to be strong. And when the third line's constantly testing things and breaking things down, it can freak out the first line. So they're kind of dissonant energies. How does that resonate with you? Do you see that trial and error part as well?
For sure. So yeah, I think I didn't really understand what that three meant. Like I just thought maybe that meant like I would be really hard on myself, which is true. I'm pretty harsh when it comes to certain things. So I wasn't sure if that's what it meant. But from
Hmm.
what you're saying, it means more like there's I'm willing to try things maybe. I'm not sure, but there is somewhat of a dissonance, and that's why I think we're discussing how the oil recommendation for like a 1-3 would be peace.
Yes. Yes, that could definitely help with balancing the two for sure, because it's the process of going through the first line, building a strong foundation, and then the third line energy of breaking down the foundation is in the end. So you kind of rebuild the foundation to make it stronger.
Yeah,
And yeah, so there is, but there is this third line energy of, they call it, it's like the energy of, it's the line of bonds made and broken. And so that energy can be harsh. There can be a lot of like knowing right away if something is not good for you and then getting rid of it right away. So there's a lot of that kind of trial and error, just testing things. And so that's definitely a lot of third line energy that's there, but also because third line sits in the second position, it's really unconscious energy. So it might not feel as maybe strong or super familiar as the whole first line investigator type of energy, which is all about learning and investigating and gaining the knowledge.
oh,
Yeah,
interesting. Okay, so
interesting.
are there other profiles too? Do you want to kind of like just lightly touch on them, or just focus on like 1-3 today?
Um, let's see. Oh yeah, there's so many different combinations and profiles. So let's see. Mine is a 2-4.
Oh,
So kind of the energy with the two. So the two is called the Hermit. And it's also an internal type of process, an internal type of energy. And the Hermit, likes to kind of be in their own world and do their own thing, and that's really their strength, is in doing that. But they're often observed by others, and it's those others who call them out for their gifts, for those gifts. So that's the second line energy. The
oh, so when
Yeah.
someone has a two, you're a 2-4.
Yes.
Okay, so the first number is like the dominant one, would you say?
It's the conscious energy. So it's
Okay,
probably the one that a person will be more in tune with, because just it's there, and it's just, very much aware of it more than the second number, which is more of what's unconscious for sure.
got it. Okay, so what's
Yeah.
the other number mean?
So my other number, 4, which is called the opportunist, which is kind of a horrible name, but what it really is um, kind of be getting a lot of opportunities through your network. A lot of fourth line folks, that's where things come from. That's where their opportunities come from. And also always kind of on a lookout for that. And sometimes this is looked at negatively, but the fourth lines can be often evaluating a person, whether this person will be good for them or not in terms of their network? You know, like, is it worth devoting energy to this? Is it going to benefit me in some way? That's a lot of that fourth line energy, which is pretty interesting.
That is interesting. I do know a few people with fours in their profile, so that's very interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
so I think we've covered 1 through 4 already. So are there, like, if there's like 2 other ones that we can kind of dive into, and then maybe we can look at somebody's profile, like yours or someone's chart next time. Hi Willie, hi Kevin, hi Warrior Pride.
Hey. Yeah, so the fifth line is heretic. So it's really, there's a lot of projection around the fifth line, whereas others tend to look at fifth lines and kind of project sometimes their energy onto the fifth line, or maybe look to the fifth line as being their kind of their hero, their savior. And fifth lines tend to get a lot of that from other profiles.
Oh, so okay, I think we'll dive deeper into this, but just like
Yes,
at
yes,
another
yeah.
episode.
No, there's definitely a lot of nuances for these.
And what about 6?
So six, there's different levels depending on where a person is in their kind of their age. They can be considered to be on the roof or not there yet. And so the sixth line is it's a definitely an external type of energy, and it's definitely like others will look to them as being examples, or like setting a good example for the community, for the network, for the world. So that is the sixth line energy.
Ah. Anytime I see a 6 in someone's profile, I'm just like, oh, this person's like likable or they're like influential, right?
Right, yes, it's very external.
Interesting.
So with those six numbers, there can be a whole combination, obviously, of different variations, right? There can be right 1 3 1 3, then there's 2 4. You can do a 1 4 6 2 3 6, all sorts of things. It's And then when you combine that with your human design type, it kind of further adds another nuance.
Got it. All right. So, is there anything else we should cover for the human design profiles today?
I think that's all I had. How are you with your 1 3 process? How does that show up?
Um, I I think it matches with um what what I what I what I've been living. So the investigator, I almost see it as like the nerd number. Like either actual nerd or secret nerd. So for sure, if I were to have a word to a word to describe myself, it would probably include nerd, or at least secret nerd in there. Priscilla, hi Priscilla, hi.
Hi.
So I don't know if that's correct, but I would say that definitely goes into like how I treat things. Like I kind of nerd out on things a lot. So that would be like the one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 3, uh I guess, yeah, it's true. I do have a lot of that tendency to try things, trial and error, and I'm not afraid to try things. So unless it pertains to, I don't know, hurting myself in some way. Like I don't think I'll ever try skydiving, you know? Or
Why
like
not?
yeah, I can't do that. I'm not even I don't even want to do like ATV riding. Like we were just in Vegas over the weekend and all of the cousins went ATV riding and I'm over here like, nah, like I was the only one. Me and
Hmm.
my other cousin were the only ones that sat out of that one, and we're just like, I think we're gonna skip that. Like, but well, but she's tried it before. I haven't. So I'm just like, no, I don't ever have to do that like my entire life.
How about like scuba diving or horseback riding? Or what
Oh
are some
yeah, yeah,
other?
yeah. I'll definitely try. See, even scuba, I'm a little bit like, oh, I could die. The oxygen tank could explode. Like I kind of have that thought process. But horseback riding, I've done. Um, yeah. I don't see. I'm even a little afraid of like roller coasters. Maybe that's why it's like the subconscious.
Well, there is this kind of the neuroses around the 1-3 is kind of maybe having a fear of failure, which doesn't sound like anything like that, but the first line is really obsessed with keeping things strong, and so might hesitate to try too many new things, which is the third line wants to keep on doing.
I see. Yeah, definitely in my earlier years and even up until like recently, there's been a massive fear of failure. So yeah, I think that's a big one. But I mean, I kind of got over it. Maybe it's because your human design. I think it goes up to a certain point. I'm not sure. I don't remember
Mhm.
that. Does it?
Well, you can definitely be conditioned by just your experiences that you've gone through, which might lead you to present in a certain way or behave in a certain way. Like the neuroses of the 1-3 can be like you might fear failure, so which will stop you from trying things, but that could just come from conditioning. So being aware of that type of dissonance, that, oh, it's kind of necessary to do the trial and error, will, you know, make a person probably be more open to doing it. And then that is more in alignment to your design.
Ah, interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So tell me about peace, and what is that about? How does that what is that the oil of?
so I was kind of well, so the oil of reassurance, as I can see from my book. So it says this blend was formulated to assist individuals who lack inner peace.
There you go.
Sometimes. And people thrive when they feel connected to the divine. Souls achieve true and lasting peace through connection to the source. And without this true peace, there is a human tendency to try to manufacture peace by controlling one's environment and relationships. Especially when one feels afraid, it is tempting to try to control others because it gives an artificial sense of order and safety. Peace invites individuals to connect to the true source of unending peace and let go of control and excess attachments in order to experience the incredible peace that flows from the divine. It invites individuals to trust in divine goodness and grace. Peace affirms that no amount of control or effort can fill the empty soul. It reminds individuals that only by connecting to the divine will they cultivate lasting peace. Yeah, I really love this one.
That's a nice blend.
Yeah, this is awesome. Okay,
Indeed.
well, thank you so much for hopping on again and sharing your knowledge about human design. I always love talking about different aspects of this very complicated system. So there's so much to
Yes.
cover.
It's been fun going through your chart and talking about the different things in it.
Thank you. Maybe next time we'll go through um like a well-known person's chart, maybe your chart.
Oh
I
yeah,
feel
we could
your chart
finally.
is
Mhm.
way different from mine,
It is.
which would be really interesting to take a look at.
All right, sounds good.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye.